An excerpt from Chapter 33, The Condor Initiation, from Igniting the Cosmic Dance, Awakening to Star Lineage and the Codes of Light. Malku the shaman now said, "We are going on a small hike and will do an initiation ceremony now." We followed Malku down to the lower part of the City of Light in Machu Picchu to the giant Pachamama stone. It has a stone platform carved into one side of it to sit upon. Shaped like a puma on the one side and a capybara, relating to guinea pig, on the other, it stands at the entranceway to the hike up Huayna Picchu. Past the Pachamama stone is a small hut where everyone who intends to climb up any of the mountains must sign in and record the time they set out and later the time they return. We are climbing up that small mountain you see there beside Huayna Picchu, and it is called the Mountain of the Condor, and you will need to sign in here at the hut before we can proceed, Malku informed us. Under normal situations, I don't do mountain climbing or even hiking much. It's just not my thing. I'd rather dance for several hours than walk a kilometre, and at home I would have stopped, but I was here for a shamanic experience and had committed myself to do everything I was fit enough to do. It was about now that I realised I would almost go anywhere to participate in a ceremony or initiation, even if it meant hiking distances and climbing over rocks. I was very happy that my previous 5 weeks of walking up the hills in Cusco as a volunteer had prepared me well for this shamanic experience. I was ready to follow this shaman and to do my best to pass the tests he set. In hindsight, if I'd been given information about this particular initiation beforehand, I may have pulled out. However, here I am, and here I will continue to be, accepting the challenge he has in store for us, this small group of women, 4 from Sweden, 1 from USA, and 1 from Australia. That's me. We climbed up large, rough and uneven rocks, unlike the well-constructed steps in the ruins behind us of Machu Picchu. Beautiful green moss and ferns grew along the wayside and between cracks and under bushes. We climbed halfway up the mountain of Condor when Malku stopped us at a clearing on the other side of the mountain. "Sit down here," he said. I realised that only a small group could be in this place for this initiation. 7 of us just fitted onto the large rocks beside a wide ledge, cantilevered out into the sky. It was about 1 metre wide and 3 metres long, jutting out into nowhere. "This is the initiation place of the Condor," he said. "One at a time I will guide you to the edge of the ledge, where you will fly like the condor in the mountain air." He then directed us to think of ourselves as the puma, close to the ground, strong and stealth-like. "Who will go first?" he asked. One of the Swedish women stood up. I wasn't ready to go forward until I'd watched what he had in store for us. He stood in front of her and whispered, "Close your eyes. Now be like the puma. Connect to the earth and lower your center. Take 1 step forward and another step forward." Malku guided her steps until there was no longer any space for him, and then ducked past under her arms, holding his hands around her waist as a safety net without touching her. Fear immediately rose in my belly, and I tried hard to concentrate and connect with Pachamama and to use her energy. I imagined myself as a puma, close to the ground and stable. I focused myself breathing in and out deeply, fear still churning away. "Ground yourself now," I said to myself. "Control the fear. Breathe through the fear." Becoming more centered, I could see my friend Caroline frozen in her fear, and I knew she was afraid of heights, and this would be one of her biggest tests, and I honoured her courage. I stood up to take my turn, and Malku stood in front of me, whispering, "Close your eyes. Be like the puma. Connect to the earth and lower your center. Take 1 step forward and another and another step and another forward. Sometimes I took a large step and felt myself wobble and brought my feet together to stabilize myself. I wasn't feeling very balanced with the big steps, so changed them to little steps and felt more secure. I decided that Malku could be trusted to not let me fall. I felt him duck around me and knew I was close to the edge, and still he continued. Take another small step, and another. Now stop. He leaned in close to whisper, Welcome to the energy of the air and the home of the Condor. Lift your arms up to the side and open your hands to the sky. As I followed his directions, I suddenly felt connected to the air and wind, and energy rushed up my spine. I threw my head up and back, lifted to the sky. Now pay reverence to the Condor, he said. Slowly bring your left hand to your solar plexus and your right hand to your heart. I followed his directions, bowed my head, and paid homage to the great black bird of the sky. Malku again whispered, Open your eyes and talk to the river, to the mountains, in the wind. And when I opened my eyes, my first reaction was to cry out, Oh shit! Quickly, I caught myself from saying anything, knowing that any sound would move my body and I could possibly fall. I was right at the edge of the ledge, and the view was breathtaking. He whispered, Now fly like the Condor. And I shaped my arms and hands into wings and moved my upper body in flight. I felt the air current brush my face and arms. I was suspended in the air, flying high above the mountains, with only the wind as my ally.